What's up, guys? So today I'm just going to be talking about how I got started trading. I'm going to keep it really short, and then towards the end, I'm just going to go over my strategy just really quickly, just basis of it. Nothing. I'm not really going to expand too much into it. So first thing first, how I started trading. So I started with crypto. I moved on to options, just like a lot of other people did, and then I heard about prop firms, how you could pay essentially $200 for a 50K account, which is really just a $2,000 margin. So you're paying 200 for 1,000% essentially. So I heard about that. I saw like the Top Step X platform and everything, and I saw there wasn't really a call or a put like strike price. So that just meant that you had to actually learn like the technical and mechanical parts of actually trading. So it's like, targeting the proper things, getting proper entries in, and just proper risk management, because that's the most important thing in my opinion, and having a good psychological headspace. So that's just kind of how I got started and just how I kind of heard about it. So going into how much money I lost trading, I probably lost $700 before making my first payout, and that was probably like in the span of like 2 months. So I started my first combine in February. I didn't get a payout till the end of or mid-April. So it took me around, I'd say, 2 months to actually get my first payout. So that first payout definitely did make up for the $700 in losses, but obviously just not like the time it took, because I was probably studying for 10 hours a day, just back testing, learning things, memorizing stuff, seeing what this means, seeing what this means. So I'd say it took about like 2 months of probably around like 10 hours a day just to like get it down. So I passed my first. I did not pass my first ever eval. I passed my second ever eval, blew that XFA, gambled a bunch of other evals because at that point my headspace was really fucked up, and I just wanted to get back to where I originally was before, which was just on a fresh XFA, which I eventually did do that. Obviously $700 later, and then I kind of just locked in a little bit. I did end up getting a payout, not with the strategy that I use now. It was with a different strategy, but I got the payout to kind of just like lift my spirits. Thank God I did get that payout. I could have, if I didn't, I could have been in a hole, and even till now, I could have not gotten a payout. But I did. That kind of helped my psychological state increase a little bit, and it just made me a little more confident. So from that time, I probably strategy hopped two different strategies till I found the strategy that I have now, which I kind of found out about, I'd say, around August, and then I've perfected it from August to now since. So that was kind of like the main barrier, just finding strategies, seeing what works, and then also risk management and just like your psychological state, because that's, in my opinion, the most important thing. You could have, an XFA with a $2,000 balance, but if you're having a $400 losing day and you don't know how to handle that right, you could blow that account in seconds. So the main thing that I'm going to talk about in this video is just getting over the fear of losing. So that kind of ties in with just money in general. Like a lot of people, they'll be risking, or let's say I'm risking $200 a trade and I'm going for $400. That's 1 point. I mean, that's 1 to 2 RR. So essentially, I'm risking 200 to make $400. If I have a losing day and a winning day after, that winning day essentially is always going to make up for the day before and that day of profits. So if I just veer off and I'm mad because I lost $200, and then I'm gonna take another trade and risk 400 just to make the 400 back or 200 back, giving me negative RR, and I lose that, that puts me in an even bigger hole. So the main way to go about like just getting over the fear of losing is kind of just thinking trading for tomorrow. So essentially what I started doing more was, not now but before, was just taking, if I took a loss, I'd hop off and go on for the next day. And if you have good risk management, it doesn't matter if you lose 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row. That's all part of your system. That all ties in. So if you're losing 2, 3 days in a row, that means you're destined for like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins before another loss, assuming you have a proper system, assuming you're not rushing into trades, and assuming that you're taking proper trades also. So if I'm having 3 losses, that's $600. all it really takes is 2 days to make that 600 back plus the extra 200 profit. So getting over the fear of losing also means not taking your profits early, because if I have a system that works, statistically it works. So if I'm risking 200 to make 400 and I lose a day again, let's say, if I'm cutting my profits the next day short, so I'm up 200 and I just want to recover that $200 loss from yesterday, and I cut it short and don't go for that 400, and it breaks me even for yesterday, then that kind of cuts my earnings for the same day, because I made the 200 from yesterday, but I closed it early because I was scared of, I guess, getting break even, right? So I don't make my $200 profit for the day, and then I lose tomorrow, let's say. So now I'm down 200 again, and that trade yesterday, I didn't claim the two, like I didn't hold it for the extra 200. So now my account would technically be at minus 200, assuming the balance was zero. So that just kind of like it messes up everything in general. So it's just getting over the fear of losing is obviously having proper risk management. If you're risking 10% of your account, that gives you a 10 trade buffer. So you just gotta be like persistent. You gotta, if you see yourself closing trades early, if you see yourself losing, just paper trade more. Make sure your system's actually proper, and then I feel like that should definitely help you get over it. If not, then it might be more of a psychological thing, right? Because if you're back testing and you have a good win rate, then you have your data. So it's clearly not the way you're trading. It's more of just your mind space. So going into my strategy, I'm also gonna, everything I'm talking about today, I'm gonna expand on in other videos. I just don't like, it's just like a really broad, trading in general is just a really broad topic. I could really go about it for hours and hours and hours. So it's a lot. And same thing with just like looking up how to trade. There's so many gurus. It's such an oversaturated space where it's like content is like infinite, which is good and bad, because you could be learning the wrong thing forever, or you could be getting straight to the point every single time if you're lucky and you know what you're looking for. But just going into how I trade now, I'm just trading continuation for the most part. So you can see these are all time session highs and lows, which is going to be your highest liquidity. Market's always going to want to sweep one and go to the other. For example, we'll go, let me expand this. I'll show you an example really quick. So let's say we have London. Price is going to take London. We put in AM lows. We have lunch highs. Price takes lunch highs. Now it's going to want to take lunch lows, which you see right here. Then we have Asia. So Asia, we're chopping. Obviously, price is going to want to take PM in Asia. So we took Asia lows and London lows, and then we ended up taking previous Asia day lows. So the way price and just the markets work in general is we're always going to be sweeping liquidity. Even though this wasn't swept, I can assure you that we are most likely going to eventually, within this week, maybe the next week, we'll push it back up, recover, and sweep this. So that's just kind of like not how I trade, but like kind of what I'm targeting. Now for how I trade, it's more of a continuation based model. So obviously here we dropped a shit ton of points and we're chopping. So what I'd essentially target here is the continuation to the downside, obviously, since we're still trending down. So PM lows would be something to look for. Lunch lows, right? We swept that. Now we have Asia. We pushed up. We have London. Now I'd want to take Asia because we're already on a downtrend. So we have Asia right here. So essentially, you're just trading the continuation. That's just how I trade in general. Obviously, that all comes with having proper entrances and everything, because I'm not gonna enter like right here to take lunch. Wait, no, that wouldn't be lunch because that was put in after. I'm not going to enter right here to target, which I'm sure there's going to be a 4-hour. Yeah, like right here we have a 4-hour. 4-hour that was unfilled. We'll go to one that was already tapped into right here. So right there I have a 4-hour. I'm not going to be entering right here just to target this 4-hour, right? So this all comes into like just having a proper strategy and just timing. So I'm not going to enter here, right here, to target this, right? We want to see Asia get swept, because then once Asia gets swept, we either could sweep PM highs and then push down, or go down from Asia. So this is where having a proper strategy really comes into effect, because We have a 50-minute. We tapped into it, push lower from it, and then you could find an entrance like somewhere during AM, obviously targeting these 4-hour lows. So that's where it comes about timing and having proper stop losses and take profits, right? Because I'm not going to enter a trade here and risk 200 points. No, let's say I'm not going to be risking 400 points just to make 240 points, right? I'm gonna enter right here, having proper risk management, 63 points, and then I can go for 240 points, right? So that would give me 1 to 4 RR, and then over time that gives you like a proper system, a profitable system, assuming that your win rate's over 50%. So in the long run, even if you're losing more than your wins, you're still profitable. Obviously that's only if you have like 1 to 4 R. If you have 1 to 2, anything more than a 50% is considered profitable. So I'm going to be expanding a lot more on everything. Trading just a really, really, really broad topic in general. There's so much stuff to talk about. So anything specific you want me to talk about, I will talk about that. And then I'll be posting more trading content. I am in school still, so I kind of have to manage that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part. But yeah, and then I'll post a couple like just backtesting videos, just how I trade in general, what I'm looking for, just like live thought analysis, because obviously it's a lot harder when you're on your own and you don't really have a great idea of everything. So yeah, that will be it for today. I'll definitely be posting a lot more and just touching up on a lot of other stuff. So thank you guys.